Hello and welcome back to another football commentaries live stream. It is the 50th commentary on this channel for the 2020-2021 season and it is the game between struggling Southampton and consistently surviving Crystal Palace. The downward spiral of Southampton has raised eyebrows and has the future of manager Ralph Hasenhüttl in doubt. From being top of the league in November, they demanded for the count to be stopped, and I bet they wish it had. From then, they now sit one place above the relegation zone with a miserable 37 points after 34 games. Thankfully, due to Burnley relegating Fulham last night, they are safe, but the issue is deeper than that. Change is needed in the summer. Does that mean new players, old players out, and maybe even a new man in charge? For Crystal Palace, it is another average season as they stay in the league for another year, with the Hodgson era maybe coming to an end, as the 73-year-old has been at the Eagles since 2017, and Palace could look for a change in the summer to make progression with this team that is blessed with very much young talent. It is a game both sides will want to win to finish this season positively, but who will come out on top? Will it be the Saints or the Eagles at St Mary's on this late May end of season clash? We are here for the late Premier League kick-off between Southampton and Crystal Palace. Massive congratulations to Manchester City, who have just been confirmed as Premier League champions, as Leicester did come out 2-1 winners at Old Trafford against Manchester United. So that's a decent result for Manchester City, you could say, even though they didn't have to play the game. Obviously, they slipped up their chance to win the league playing when they faced Chelsea, but I'm not sure they'll care too much. The league is wrapped up and is going back to the Etihad for the 5th time in 10 seasons. Absolutely crazy, isn't it? I think 1 under Mancini, 1 under Pellegrini, and then 3 under Pep Guardiola. Oh, unbelievable. We are here for the game against Southampton Crystal Palace. I know it's a bit of a different one, not the biggest of games, but in terms of fitting the schedule, I thought I'd put it in there. And, to be honest, it's got to the point now where I commentate. I'm not bothered who it is. I just enjoyed it so much. I'm not really bothered who's playing, so yeah, thank you to everyone who's joined. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Get involved in the chat, and I'll read them through. Right now, we've got 2-1 Palace, so we're going for a away win. The reverse fixture, which was the first game of the season for both, was a 1-0 win at Selhurst Park for Palace. Wilfried Zaha scoring the winner in that game in the 13th minute. Will we get something similar? We'll have to wait and see. But I think this will be a decent game. Southampton 17th in the league now. If they do win, they'll go to I think 14th. But the fact that they are sat in 17th after being top of the league in November and beating Liverpool at the start of January is just quite the downfall. But they have got Danny Ings in the team today. He is 1 goal off 99 in his senior career. So that would be a good landmark for Danny Ings to hit, as he could be on his way out from Southampton at the end of the season. Eddie Howe to Palace, definitely a possibility. He is available. I know the likes of Celtic are looking at him. So again, we'll just have to see what happens. Don't mind the school shirt, but under the jacket. You know, like when you got in from school and you just couldn't be bothered changing. That's what I've gone. I think so. Just ignore that. But I think we're quite smart with it on. So yeah, but these are the teams we've got left and right. Kickoff is literally a minute away. 4-4-2 for Southampton, a 4-2-3-1 for Crystal Palace, allowing Eze in that centre attacking midfield role to play his magic. He scored a great goal against Sheffield United in Crystal Palace's last game. If you haven't seen that goal, go and watch it on your highlights at half time or whatever. It's a fantastic individual goal. He's been really good since joining from QPR, and they'll be wanting something similar from Eze. And will they get it? He's going to kick off for us in a second with him standing over kickoff. We've got the referee for today's game of Andy Madley. We've got VAR as Simon Hooper, and VAR is the assistant. There is something called an assistant VAR. I know, quite ridiculous. It's Derek Eaton. As the players do take the knee once again, as there's no room for racism in football. If you do see any racism anywhere, do report it to the Premier League website, and there is a section there about racism. And there's also in the description, I've linked it, the No Room for Racism Premier League website. We're underway with Crystal Palace kicking off. They're in possession on their left-hand side with left-back Tyreek Mitchell. Deflects inside to Milivojevic. Then to Ayu's back in the team for today. He's lost out to Minamino, but won back by Riedeveld. Plays it forward towards Benteke, pokes it to Ayew on the left-hand side. Nicely done by the Belgian striker. Down the left-hand side is Wilfried Zaha, tackled strongly by Kyle Walker-Peters. Throwing it is for Crystal Palace in the Southampton half. I'll get the timer going in a second. Thrown quickly where Chidams can pick it up, and it's now with Captain Ward-Prowse. Pass over to Armstrong, he's lost out though, and it's Benteke who strikes from range, and it's just gone past the post. A venomous strike from Christian Benteke, but not quite accurate enough to hit the back of the net. Like I said, not too far away for the Belgian, as Crystal Palace have got off to a great start in this game. Christian Benteke scoring a decent amount of goals this season. He's got 7 for the season in the Premier League, 8 in all competitions. That's scored 5 times against Southampton in 12 attempts, as Crystal Palace have won a throw in here on their left-hand side in the Southampton half as they struggle to retain possession from the goal kick they received from the Benteke strike. So it's Benteke back to left back. Mitchell tries to get beyond Kyle Walker-Peters, and he's fouled by Walker-Peters, says the referee, and the left back does win a free kick for his team. Tyreek Mitchell, the Crystal Palace left back, he's now getting 3 starts on the bounce ahead of Patrick Van Aanholt. Tyreek Mitchell, been at the club since 2016, joining from Brentford. But here is the captain, Luka Milivojevic, to put a cross in. We know he's good at set pieces. He glides one towards the back post, headed on by Scott Dann. It's in the box, pressed down by Benteke. Tries to turn and shoot, deflects back towards him. He struck a first time and he throws it in to the back of the net. Left-footed goal from Christian Benteke. I've just said he scored 8 for the season. He's now got 9. His 6th in 13 against Southampton. And what a start for Roy Hodgson's men as Hasenhüttl's team keeps sinking down this table. It's an unbelievable strike from Benteke on his weaker foot. Glided in by Milivojevic. Header won by Scott Dann. He's onside as the header was put back across. He was chest down by Benteke. Tried to strike it a first time. Looped in the air. Went back to the Belgian. He chested it in front of him and latched onto his own touch with a left-footed shot across the goal where Fraser Forster couldn't keep it out, even with his big 6'7" body frame. Brought it down. Eyes on the ball. Lashes it into the back of the net. And we've got an early goal in this game. Southampton 0, Crystal Palace 1. Christian Benteke, the goal scorer. And it is definitely deserved for Crystal Palace. What a start for the Eagles. There we go, 1-0. Here's Eze on the ball for Palace. Won back by Danny Ings, doing his defensive duties well. It's now with Nathan Redmond. Tries to go inside to Danny Ings. Good interception by Milivojevic. Heavy touch, but pulled back by Redmond. And Andy Madley, the referee, sees it as a foul. And a free kick it'll be for Palace in their own half, just on the right-hand side. As Benteke's got his team off to a fantastic start. He is just one away from Zaha in terms of top goal scorer for Crystal Palace in the Premier League this season. It's Benteke's 8th goal in the Premier League, It's his 9th in all competition, so he's 2 away from Zaha. Scoring a lot more than he has in previous seasons, Christian Benteke. It's his 90th goal in English football as well. 8th in the Premier League as the free kick's been put up towards Benteke. Chests it down against Jack Stevens. Flicks it over Danny Ings and nods it towards Riedeveld, who can't help it on. Blocked off by Armstrong in the Southampton half. It's now with Redmond. Another misplaced ball. One back by Joel Ward, but his interception's gone back to Redmond and they forced it back now with Yannick Vestergaard. Now to the goalkeeper, Fraser Forster, as Southampton looked to get a bit of possession because before they knew it, they were 1-0 down. Armstrong over to Jack Stevens, the makeshift left back, as Bertrand's out injured currently. And it looks like his time at the club might be up. I've been reading Ryan Bertrand, formerly of Chelsea. And here's Minamino, who is on loan from Liverpool. Scored 2 goals for Southampton while on loan. Completes a 1-2 with Danny Ings, and a touch is too heavy, but a poor challenge from Jordan Ayew, the striker, has committed a foul, and it's another free kick in this game, but this time for Southampton, as both players have stayed down, including the man who committed the foul, Jordan Ayew. It's good from Minamino, got away from Zaha, who was chasing him, then played a 1-2 to get around Eze, and then as he took a touch forward, he was clattered down to the ground by Jordan Ayew. And a free kick for Southampton. Thanks to everyone who's here. If you could like and subscribe, that'd be fantastic. Really helps me out. And commentaries on this channel coming up soon, including the Championship playoffs. So 5 minutes into this game, we're back underway at the halfway line with Jan Bednarek, the Polish international. Clips it over to the other side to Redmond. Can he keep it in? No, Ranalovic. And it's a goal kick for Crystal Palace. Good thinking by Bednarek, saw the run of Redmond in behind, who in a last commentary did against for Southampton against Bournemouth. Redmond did score one and assisted one in on that day, and it was absolutely fantastic against the Championship playoff side. So they'll be looking for him to conjure up some more of that magic. He actually scored 2 against Bournemouth. Me not remembering my stats right, it was 2 against Bournemouth, and I think he also did assist as well in that game. As Gaeta, the Crystal Palace goalkeeper, sends up towards Benteke, flicks it on towards Ayew, but it is picked up by Nathan Redmond in the middle of the park, and he goes back to Fraser Forster in the Southampton goal. On the edge of the 18-yard box, just shifts it over to Yannick Vestergaard. Now over to Bednarek, who had quite the shocking performance at Manchester United earlier on in the year, and they lost 9-0, he scored no goal and got sent off. It was rescinded in the end, but still not the greatest of performances as Kyle Walker-Peters runs out of play on the Southampton right, and it'll be a throw-in for Tyreek Mitchell to take. Just on the halfway line, he's got both managers looking right at him on the sidelines as Benteke gets it into Zaha, loses it, but Tyreek Mitchell wins it back. Riedeveld out wide to Benteke, plays it back and loops it towards Milivojevic, who then heads it forward to Ayew, brings it down, releases Riedeveld. Once more over to Tyreek Mitchell, tries to go inside, but there's no one there. But a poor touch from Bednarek invites Ayew to try and take it away from him, but he can't. And Southampton have kept it with a nice run with Stuart Armstrong. Works it away to the left-hand side as he gets beyond a couple of Crystal Palace players. It's now Nathan Redmond running at Joel Ward on the Palace right, the Southampton left. Plays it forward to Adams, back first time to Jack Stevens as Crystal Palace quickly get back in formation as Stuart Armstrong looks to play Kyle Walker-Peters in behind. First time clearance from Tyreek Mitchell and headed on by Eze, or as far as Stevens, who nods it towards James Ward-Prowse, the captain, in the middle of the park. Now over to Jack Stevens once again. Played at left back in the game against Sheffield United, the last game. Sorry, not against Sheffield United, sorry, against Liverpool at Anfield for Southampton in their last game. Vestergaard forward to Ward-Prowse. Could be on that plane for England to the Euros. Say on the plane. A lot of it is played in England this year for this Euros, but you know what I'm trying to say. It's Jack Stevens is over to Ward-Prowse again. Southampton just enjoying a little bit of time on the ball after a bit of a quick start from Palace that caught them off guard slightly. Now Redmond on the left-hand side, back inside to Ward-Prowse. He's seen a switch over to Walker-Peters where there's room. He just about gets it to him. It's a bit behind him, so has to retreat a little bit back for the ball, but he was a little bit too eager with his run. Kyle Walker-Peters in behind and has been flagged offside. Be a free kick to Crystal Palace. But I just want to say, great season for Christian Benteke, which had a failed stint at Liverpool where he didn't score too many goals, and he was signed from Liverpool to Crystal Palace, and he's now on 8 in the Premier League, 9 in all competitions, and it's not the greatest of numbers in terms of a striker, who used to score so many for Aston Villa in his early days in England, but it's nice to see him scoring again and showing his potential, because for Belgium he's decent in his national strip, because he scored 16 in 39, which isn't bad in international level, so he's definitely got the talent, and we all know that, but it's just been hidden from us for quite a while. As Minamino has the throw-in for Southampton as he won it from Palace and tried to play it forward, but it was cut out by Riedeveld. And a throw-in for Southampton, taken by Walker-Peters to Ward-Prowse. He's back into the full-back, who goes over the top, but header's been won by Scott Dan out to the hands of Ralph Hasenhuttl, who will just roll it into his right back for him to take another throw-in on the halfway line this time for Southampton. Kyle Walker-Peters, the Spurs signed from Spurs, was there, joined in 2013, and then left in 2020 to Southampton. Been worked over to the opposite side now with Jack Stevens. Redmond, Armstrong, Stevens again, halfway inside the Palace half. We've got Ward-Prowse on the ball, patrol in the centre of the park like he always does. Bednarek's been brought into play as he can stroll forward the centre back, but decides to go back again to Ward-Prowse just to keep possession for Southampton. So they look to try and get back in this game quickly. There's Armstrong to Redmond, tries to go first time down the line, cut out by Joel Ward, the right back, and a throw-in for Southampton it is. And in this fixture, on the first game week of the Premier League, Palace did win it 1-0, but scored in the 13th minute. Instead, this time they scored very early on. I think around the second minute wasn't it, when Benteke struck for Palace. Probably their quickest goal of the Premier League this season for Roy Hodgson's team. Armstrong for Southampton. Vestergaard, who was sent off recently at a home draw against Leicester on a Friday night, as Ward-Prowse has got the ball stuck under his feet and just about shifts it to Bednarek before Zaha takes it off him. And Southampton have kept possession. Ward-Prowse back to Bednarek again. Signed from Lech Poznan in 2017. He's played under 3 managers at Southampton. Pellegrino, who was signed by then Mark Hughes for a little while, and then Ralph Hasenhüttl for the last couple of years. Hasenhüttl brought in the December of 2018 as his team looked to get forward here. Ings looking forward to Nathan Redmond's played a little bit too far ahead of him. Scott Dan can take it, but the touch is too heavy and he plays it out of pitch. And a corner kick it is for Southampton. A bit of a hopeful ball from Ings, not really guiding it too accurately there, Danny Ings, as he tried to replay Nathan Redmond. And as Scott Dan got there ahead of the winger, he just tried to go across Nathan Redmond, but the touch was too heavy. And like I said, conceded the set piece. As Palace have defending to do, as they look to defend this early lead. James Ward-Prowse, the set piece specialist we know him as. They've scored the second most amount of goals from set pieces, Southampton, this year, as he swings it in. It's a header won, I think, by Joe Ward, by Crystal Palace in that crowded 6-yard box, and it'll be another corner kick for Ward-Prowse to take. It'll be a right-footed in-swinger. Places the ball down. Ward-Prowse. Vestergaard's in there. Stevens is as well, as he puts another ball in. Headed won by Benteke straight onto the foot. Danny Ings didn't know too much about it, so it ricochets to a Palace player who can clear. As far as Redmond, who gets it back forward to Ward-Prowse. Bednarek in a left-sided position. A little bit unfamiliar for the centre-back. As it's Armstrong, it's over to Takumi Minamino, the Japanese international. Won 11 trophies at his time in RB Salzburg in Austria, including 6 league titles before making the move from Austria to England, in Liverpool in particular, where he's not had the greatest of successes. So he's been shipped out on loan to Southampton, where again it's not been the greatest of successes, as Ward-Prowse gets taken out as he passes it, but play's been continued as Walker Peters is still on the ball, and he shifts it over to the right hand side, over the top to Minamino, who allows the ball to come down itself and looked across first time, but Scott Dan is there in the way again to block it out for another corner kick. When Hodgins confirms retirement, Lampard should become manager. That's a good shout, maybe Lampard, because like I said, Palace have got a lot of decent players, the likes of Zaha, Townsend on the bench, Eze as well, so they've got some decent players he could work with. He's taken short to Minamino. Turns, tries to get a cross in, blocked off again for another corner. You just thought, I don't say. I have said before who I support, because I support a non-league team, like my local team, and they're currently playing right now. I've got it on this side of my screen here, just to keep up to date with what's going on. They're currently drawing 1-1, and they need to win it. So if they score, I might have to give it a little bit of a fist bump celebration. There's another corner that's going to be taken. It's going to be a ball in by Ward-Prowse towards the back post, where Gaeta punches into the air, but apparently the ball had gone out to play as Ward-Prowse swung the cross in from the corner, and it'll be a goal kick for Crystal Palace. We're just about to hit the 14th minute. It's Southampton 0, Palace 1. Benteke's 9th goal of the Premier League season. 8th Premier League goal of the season has put Palace ahead in this game, where they currently sit 13th. Their average league position in the last 5 seasons has been 13th. Just to run it in order, in the last 5 seasons, they've placed 14th, 12th, 11th, 14th, 15th, and then obviously this season it's looking like it might be a 13th place finish once again, but they could move up the table a little bit with a nice run of fixtures come the end of the season if they can pick up a couple of points. So we're back underway with Southampton on the ball. Bednarek forward to Ward-Prowse in the Southampton half, plays it forward into the West Brom half to Che Adams, who plays it back towards Stevens, who takes over ahead of Armstrong and then looks for another crossword ball towards Walker Peters, and he finds him as he ventures forward from right back, pressured by Tyreek Mitchell, so plays it back to Ward-Prowse. Armstrong left-footed ball out to Nathan Redmond. He's got the support of Che Adams down the byline, can't find him as Chet Chiarte gets there first and clears it towards the halfway line, where left back Jack Stevens can take the situation under control. Jack Stevens, centre back and left back's not scored yet this season at all. It's his 16th Premier League appearance. He's played 19 games on the bench. I say played. He's not come off the bench 19 times this season. As Bednarek gives the ball away to Milivojevic, finds Zaha. Then I think he was just caught late there. Milivojevic as he released it to Zaha by Ward-Prowse, or was he caught late on Zaha? I'll have to watch it again. Oh, you might as well tell. I'm a Man U fan, but if you supported Liverpool, I'd have to have all the respect for you. No, don't support Liverpool. It doesn't sound like it, does it? Not quite got the Scouse accent. Yeah, he was at Ward-Prowse went in hard on Milivojevic, and then as it was played over to Zaha, he's gone strong on Zaha again. May have just touched his toe a little bit, not much in it. I think Zaha's overreacting a little bit, but as the replays have ended, I think Palace were looking for a ball in behind him. They just kicked it out of play for a Southampton goal kick. So a wasteful ball on the halfway line by Crystal Palace as it's taken quickly by by Forster to Jan Bednarek. Ward-Prowse back to Bednarek on the edge of the 18-yard box. Ward-Prowse again on the ball. Southampton are just growing into the game a little bit after conceding that very early goal to Benteke. Left-footed strike into the bottom corner, getting past Fraser Forster, who has never been beaten in this fixture. He's played Palace 7 times, won 5, drawn 2, keeping 2 clean sheets in the process. This is Mitchell back to Crystal Palace goalkeeper Gaeta. To the left-hand side, can it be kept in by Zaha? No, asking too much of the Ivorian winger. I know we are throwing for Southampton on their right-hand side. Yeah, I'm saying any team you support, I'll have the same respect. That's what we like to see. Football united as one. But like I said, fans will be back in the ground soon. I'm so excited because, like I said, my non-league team I support, we're back in on the 22nd of May. Very excited. Very excited. You know, seeing to get older. Not been into the ground for 14 months. I was reading today, so yeah, been quite the wait. Southampton concede another free kick just inside their own half. Jan Bednarek this time, I think, just holding off Benteke, but illegally, says the referee. Yeah, just kept hold of the Belgian and wasn't letting him go. So free kick for Crystal Palace as they look to try and double their lead if they can, to just settle the nerves away from home at St Mary's, who do hold 32,500 themselves. Obviously, they'll allow fans back in for, I think, one more home game come the end of the season, like all Premier League teams are if they play at home. Ayew. Riedeveld forward to Benteke, lays it off to Ayew. Over to the right hand side we go to Joe Ward, who's joined the attack, who's getting forward, tries to get beyond Nathan Redmond. He just has to hold it up against the winger, cuts onto his left foot and glides it in, and it's a header away by Vestergaard, only as far as Riedeveld. He tries to play it forward to Benteke, who then shifts it over towards Ayew. Poor touch, cleared away to Joe Ward, who ends up volleying it, and it just leaps over into the safe hands of Fraser Forster in the end. And it's another deaded attack by Palace, but a good ball from Joe Ward the first time on his weak foot, cleared away, and then Riedeveld played a bouncing ball to Benteke. He laid it into Ayew. His header was poor, and he was headed away by Vestergaard, then volleyed by Joe Ward. And then the attack died down in the end with a easy save for the goalkeeper. So Armstrong collects it and looks to run forward. A positive run, but pulled back by Eze. And a free kick it will be for Southampton. Taken quickly back to Vestergaard by Jack Stevens. Bednarek with a switch to the left-hand side. Lots of room for Nathan Redmond. Chest it down beautifully, the number 11. 1-on-1 with Joe Ward. Gets the ball into the box towards Danny Ings. He's allowed to turn and shoot. And there it is. Danny Ings. A poacher's-like finish into the bottom right corner. It's his 100th senior career goal. It's his 45th for Southampton. And he gets his team back on level terms. It's a fantastic switch by Jan Bednarek. Brought down, like I said, beautifully by Nathan Redmond. Stood up Joe Ward on the left-hand side. Got a cross into Ings, who took a touch back to goal, but was allowed the time to turn back around, to look goalwards, to shoot goalwards, and to score into the back of the net to give Southampton a lifeline early in this first half to get back in the game. And of course it has to be the main man, Danny Ings. It's 11 for the season now in the Premier League. Not quite as good as his 25 goal-scoring season of last year, but still, it's his 100th senior club career goal. And what a way to do it with a nice, tidy, right-footed finish. 1-1. Could we get goals in this game? Who would have thought it? Who would have thought it? Fantastic to see. I'm going to guess Wealdstone Sutton. You have mentioned it. You've mentioned the team, yeah. Oh, we nearly just scored. We're back underway with Southampton, already back in possession by the likes of Armstrong on the ball. It's now back to Yannick Vestergaard, who has played in Europe 10 times, including qualifying games. I think Champions League twice. He's played in the Champions League 6 times, 2 of them in qualifying, then 4 in Europa, all for Borussia Mönchengladbach, which he did leave in 2018 to join Southampton. He's now on 76 appearances for Southampton. As again another switch to Nathan Redmond on the left. He gets beyond Joel Ward again, tries to poke it inside towards Adams, but it deflects to Ward-Prowse. Back over to the right to Walker-Peters. Does he fancy a strike? He does, but it's blocked by Tyreek Mitchell, and it'll be a throw-in for Southampton, as they've looked like they've grown into this game very well, and they've got a goal for their push and their solidarity as a team together to get back in this game so quickly after such a disappointing start. Ward-Prowse, first time ball, high in, it's looping up towards Ings, who tries to hold up against Scott Dan, who does get a header away from it. The Palace defender, but only for a throw-in, taken quickly by Walker-Peters. He gets the return from Ings, finds Ward-Prowse, shifted over to Armstrong. It's now Jack Stevens, looks for Redmond, it's a poor ball, it's fell short, and it will fall to Joel Ward, who goes back to Kiarte, just about gets his pass forward to Milivojevic. He's being chased down by Armstrong. He has to go back to Cheku Kiarte, he's just been caught late there as he clears it. Adams was going for it, catches the former West Ham player late, and it looks like he might be booking for the Scotsman, or will Andy Madley just let the striker get away with his first challenge? His intention was to try and stop the clearance and get the ball, but he's completely missed the ball, and he's took out Cheku Kiarte. I'm surprised that's not a booking for Che Adams. So it looks like he's got away with it there. Che Adams on the foul on the Senegalese centre-back. Played a lot of his time at West Ham, Kiarte, in midfield, but a bit of an injury crisis at the backs meant he's solidified a place at centre-back, and even when the likes of Gary Cahill has returned to the team, the main senior centre-back, he's kept his place. He's been that consistent. So back underway, Benteke heading it forward, looking for Zaha, but Kyle Walker-Peters is beaten to it. He plays it back to his goalkeeper, Fraser Forster. Shifts out to Jack Stevens on the left. Redmond inside the Southampton half. Back to Jack Stevens as he just rolls it a bit too far ahead of him, and he has to chase back for it as he lays it back into Fraser Forster. Clears with the left foot to the left-hand side where Adams can't win the header on Kiarte, but the header's only gone as far as Redmond, who's touched his paw, and it will fall for a Crystal Palace throw-in inside the Southampton half. Which 1-0 Southampton? No. City are champions. Yes, they are champions, yep. Fantastic news for Manchester City fans, winning their 5th title in 10 seasons. Quite the achievement, you could say. So we've got to throw in for Crystal Palace to take on their right-hand side. Down the line towards Benteke, header won by Vestergaard and flipped on by Redmond. Header won by Joel Ward, back up towards Benteke, who does win the header only as far as Minamino, heads it back forward, then flipped on by Milivojevic, then off Adams, and then hooked away again by Scott Dan. Header missed by Riedeveld and Ward-Prowse, and will fall behind them to Stuart Armstrong. It's now Kyle Walker-Peters. Falls back to Bednarek. Back out to Kyle Walker-Peters, close quarters. The game's being played in at the minute, but Southampton have been able to shift it away from the press of Crystal Palace. And like I said, since conceding the second minute, they really put a foothold on the game and got the ball down, knocked it about, and has got a goal for their rewards. Or has got a goal, as their rewards. As Vestergaard looks for a diagonal ball towards Kyle Walker-Peters. Too much on it. Fall to the goalkeeper, Vincent Gaeta. Kiarte lifts it down the line, cut out by Ward-Prowse. It's now with Redmond, Jack Stevens, Vestergaard, forward to Armstrong, Ward-Prowse, back to Yannick Vestergaard, the giant Dane of 6'6", Yannick Vestergaard. Bednarek across to Vestergaard. Obviously, Southampton always playing the standard 4-4-2. Is a nice ball by Jack Stevens. Found Danny Ings. Can't find his strike partner Adams. It deflects though to Stuart Armstrong. So the Southampton attack is still on. Minamino inside to Adams. Laid it off first time to Armstrong. Back to Adams. Flicks over to Redmond. He's got a bit of space on the left. He's in the box. Can he curl a shot in? It's a great save by Gaeta. Gets down low to his left and avoids a second goal for Southampton. Nice ball by Adams to Redmond as Armstrong's ball wasn't reaching the winger, and then a ball just around the corner by Adams made it reach Nathan Redmond, and as he tried to curl it towards the far post, it was bouncing a little. but it was well met by the goalkeeper to avoid a Southampton goal for now, but they have got a corner they can try and score from. With Ward-Prowse taking out swinging corner. Left arm raised. Crossed in. What a ball, but a great header won again by Joel Ward. He's won the majority of the headers, hasn't he, in the Crystal Palace box when the corners have come in. So with Ward-Prowse again, the captain. Joined in 2003, Ward-Prowse in the academy, and he'll put a ball in, swinging it in. Headed away by Benteke, forced to Redmond as Jordan Ayew couldn't keep under control. And Adams being left alone on the left, and he'll try a similar strike to Redmond, going across the far post to Vincent Gaeta's goal. But it's been well stopped again by the Palace keeper. Literally a carbon copy of the save he's just had to do against Redmond to avoid Che Adams this time, the Scotsman. And it's a great save by Gaeta, as Che Adams hasn't scored in his last 5 Premier League games. He would have been looking to end that little bleak run of no goals, but the Crystal Palace keeper wasn't allowing that to happen. So back underway with Danny Ings drifting over to the right-hand side for Southampton. Finds Walker-Peters and makes a run down the right. Gets taken down, Walker-Peters, and it does fall eventually to Adams. To Ings, and he goes back to Bednarek. Then back forward to Danny Ings. Lifts into Takumi Minamino. Can't quite get away from the Crystal Palace press. And as they brought away the ball, Riedewald, the Palace midfielder, he's brought down by Minamino, and a free kick for Palace, taken quickly as they look to try and release Zaha down the line, but a little bit too quick for Zaha's liking, and it'll be a throw-in for Southampton, a waste again by Crystal Palace. Ralph Hasenhüttl will like the look of this a lot more than he thought he was going to be seeing when his team conceded within 2 minutes. Minamino. Walker-Peters down the line, can't quite be brought down by Ings. It will trickle all the way over to Cheku Kiarte, and it's now with the goalkeeper Vincent Gaeta, who did spend the majority of his early career at Valencia, there from 2000 to 2014, playing for the first team 113 times, back in his home country Spain, but not played at any level, at international level. As Palace have lost on their left-hand side, it's now with Ward-Prowse. Back over to Jack Stevens, a little bit more authority on the ball for Southampton in the last 10 minutes. So they're going to be growing in confidence, especially after scoring that goal. That will put them around 14th in the league if they do win today, so from 17th to 14th. But they have only won 2 games in their last 17 in the league, as a ball forward's been cut out by Kiarte and helped on into the sky by Scott Dann and headed into the sky once again by Riedewald and brought down by Armstrong in the end. The Southampton are back in possession in the Palace half. Now at the halfway line to Bednarek. Does fancy a switch to the left-hand side, but opts against it as the angle was closed down. Now Stevens up towards Danny Ings, can't quite turn Kiarte, and he picks up the ball, the centre-back, and looking backwards for his options and finds Milivojevic. He then goes forward to Eze. It's now Ayew. Only the 1 goal this season for Andre Ayew, as he's found Eze again. Looks to poke it forward, but a strong challenge from Jack Stevens gives away the throw-in for Crystal Palace. Joel Ward will be the man to take his last goal. Joel Ward, the right back, was back on the February of 2019. It was a 3-1 loss at home against Manchester United, so he's not scoring a lot of goals. Playing his 270th game for Palace after joining in 2012 from Portsmouth. Did play 3 games for Portsmouth in the Premier League, contributing to 221 appearances, now 222. As Bednarek has to clear away for another Crystal Palace throw-in on the opposite side. On the Palace left. With Tyreek Mitchell to take the number 27, who did come through the Brentford Academy as he was signed from there in 2016 by Palace in a great throw-in. And he's been worked in towards the box by Zaha. He's been brought down right on the edge of the box on the left-hand side, and the referee has deemed it as a free kick for Crystal Palace. Great running from Zaha. He received the throw and he brought it down, spun Walker-Peters as he was held, and he was surrounded by Minamino, Walker-Peters and Bednarek, and I think Minamino tried to get his foot around Zaha to nick the ball away, but instead of getting the ball, he took the man out instead. And just as we hit half an hour, Crystal Palace have got a beautiful chance to put a dangerous cross in here right on the edge of the box on the left. It's almost angled like a corner, but just a little bit closer in. So they'll be aiming for the likes of Benteke, Kiarte and Scott Dann, who are in the box. crossed in and punched away by Fraser Forster, and it will loop over to Milivojevic, who goes back to Joe Ward, then back out wide right to Milivojevic. He's going to put a ball down the line, finds Jordan Ayew in the box and spins and shoots and deflects and goes out for a corner off Bednarek for a Palace set piece, which they'll look to score from. And like I said, they've got height, they've got aerial threats, so they'll look to make the most of this. Nice ball from Milivojevic. It looks like he's going to put it back in, but saw the run of Ayew down the right-hand side, and he tried to spin quickly and shoot, but couldn't quite get beyond the defender of Jan Bednarek, who blocked it. It'll be an Eze out-swinging right-footed corner. Can Benteke maybe get a brace early on in this game, or will it be one of the centre-backs to get on the end of a corner? It's going to be glided in towards Benteke, who brings it down, lays it off to Ward on the edge of the box, and he's misplaced a touch, and the counter-attack's on. Ward-Prowse is bombing away. It's a 4v4, 5v4 now, as Ward-Prowse plays it over to Minamino on the edge, tries to slot it through to Danny Ings, but a massive slide challenge from Milivojevic, the captain, avoids the ball going through, and it gives Southampton a throw-in, and his Crystal Palace team a massive sigh of relief. Benteke looked to lay it off to Joe Ward, but his touch was poor and allowed Ward-Prowse to get away from the edge of his own box all the way into the Palace half as he released a Minamino, who looked to himself release Danny Ings, but it was blocked off. And again, a throw-in for Southampton is the best they could do in that situation. The play's just been stopped here, I think. Not too sure what's going on here. Oh, we are having a break of the game for the fast of Cheku Kiarte. Great to see he's getting the fluids in, as it looks like the sun has gone down for those completing Ramadan, so they can get fluids in and get some well-needed food. Nice to see. So just had a little stoppage in play at 1-1, 32nd minute for Cheku Kiarte. Gives a thumbs up to everyone around him, and he's ready to get back on with this game. It's been a pretty decent game so far. It's probably not the most talked about game of the season, this one, but I'm thoroughly enjoying myself, and hope everyone else here watching is also enjoying themselves as well. Because it will be Kyle Walker-Peters with a throw-in. If he's got a long throw, he could go towards the box here. Kyle Walker-Peters will go for a long throw into the box, flicked on by Che Adams. Ings will give chase. Kiarte can clear. As far as Ward-Prowse, he had it back in the box, and again met by Cheku Kiarte towards Armstrong, who can't bring it down, and Eze's touch forward. Can't get to Benteke. He's been worked to the left-hand side by Southampton. It's now with Ward-Prowse. Looking left, looking right, goes left, but just behind himself to Jack Stevens. Finds Armstrong, who's just peeled wide left for Southampton. Goes inside, trying to get away from Ayew, who's been held by Ayew, and will win the free kick. Stuart Armstrong. Stevens is now over to Bednarek, who did play that cross-field ball over to Redmond, who then got the assist for the Danny Ings goal. Redmond first-time ball towards Ings, who looked for the back heel towards Armstrong, but just behind the Scotsman. And then they'll give away a free kick there, Southampton, as the Crystal Palace player was caught late there as they looked to try and break away on Southampton. Foul given away in the end by Jack Stevens, the left-back. Kiarte to take behind him to Milivojevic. Crossfield all the way over to the right-hand side to Ward. He's able to keep in with the header and fine. Ayew gets beyond Armstrong and Stevens on the right. Goes inside to Eze. Lifted ball over the top. Oh, nearly brought down by Riedewald. That would have been a fantastic goal. Just beyond the Dutch midfield, and Forster could come out and collect. Nice play from Ayew with a hold-up play. Found Eze, and then his Magic Cat was firmly on his head there because he wanted to scoop it in behind for Riedewald, but couldn't quite keep it in the midfielder, and it was nearly a fantastic Palace goal, but not to be. So we're 10 minutes before half-time. It's 1-1. Ball from the left inside to Armstrong, shifted over to the right-hand side to Walker-Peters, getting down that right-hand side. Can he look for a cross? He will, but it's blocked off again by Tyreek Mitchell. Oh, what a save. As Walker-Peters looked to play it inside the box there. So my team has just nearly lost it last minute there. What a save. Walker-Peters gets it from the throwing off James Ward-Prowse gets down the right-hand side, tackled by Tyreek Mitchell, and it goes out for a corner kick. Nice play there from Walker-Peters on the right-hand side, advancing with effect. Again, the boys from the back again and up. Vestergaard, Jack Stevens and Jan Bednarek. Bednarek's got 1 goal this season. Yannick Vestergaard's got 3. Ward-Prowse, outswinging ball. It's dangerous again. It's met by the punch of Gaeta. Leaps in the air towards Vestergaard. Can't head it towards goal, but it gets headed back to Minamino. Lifts it towards Jack Stevens. And as he went to strike it, the left back, it's been blocked fantastically by Scott Dan. Ball put in, punched into the sky by Gaeta. Headed away by Scott Dan to Minamino. Then lifted it to Jack Stevens, who then brought it down and struck the ball. But a great block by Scott Dan means it's another corner for Southampton. One of many they've had this game. Ward-Prowse from the opposite side. Crossed in. Southampton player's gone down in the area as it falls in the end to the Crystal Palace goalkeeper. Some complaints, but not many, as the ball did bounce in the end to the goalkeeper of Crystal Palace. Just holding this ball in his hands for as long as possible. Let's see what happened here. Bednarek just being held there by Chiarte. There'll be questions, but I think it's a little bit soft, as Bednarek was definitely being held. It's a good question to ask from Southampton, because he was definitely being grappled by Cheku Chiarte. Just putting his arms around him, but I don't think anything's going to be done from it. So it will be a goal kick in the end. Not sure how that's happened. I'm not going to lie, they were just showing the replays of the penalty ask, so I don't know how they've got a goal kick from it. I swear it was in Gaeta's hands at one point. Cleared away by Gaeta, headed won by Ward-Prowse. As far as Eze is, Crystal Palace clear, and it's now a great ball. Shifted out wide to the left, and just asking too much of Zaha, as his touch was just too far ahead of him, and it goes out of play for a throw-in for Southampton. The team have got a corner here. Last minute of the game. Last kick of the game. We're 1-1. We need to win. That's why I'm looking over there. As soon as the game's on, I can turn it off. Walker-Peters throws it in towards Minamino, flicked on as far as Mitchell, who then gets it forward to Benteke, holds it up, gets beyond 2 Southampton players. Benteke then past another, but Walker-Peters, who covers for his centre-back, tackles him and clears away for a corner kick for Crystal Palace. Draw 1-1. Taken quickly, put into the box. Vestergaard heads away. As far as he heads the box to Joe Ward, who flicks it over with his head to Scott Dan. It's now Eze. Tries to get beyond Redmond, caught late by the winger. And a free kick for Palace on the far left-hand side. Thanks to everyone who has liked and subscribed in this stream. Tried to take quickly there, Palace with Mitchell, oh no, with Eze, sorry, playing over to Zaha, but the referee wasn't ready for that. Now taken to Zaha, who does lift it into the box, headed away by Jack Stevens. As far as Joe Ward, who heads it into space for Zaha, who brings it down in the box on the left, cuts it back onto his right. Brought down in the box by Redmond, penalty kick. I'm pretty sure that will be a penalty. I could see the contact which Redmond made on Zaha as he entered the defensive actions of his team. He wanted to do his part of avoiding the goal, but instead of avoiding the goal, he's giving them a penalty, cutting on Minamino. And as he was coming inside there, Zaha on his right foot, Redmond's just tried to get back, and Zaha's ran across his man, and he's been clipped by Redmond. And a definite penalty kick caught on his right leg there, Zaha, by Redmond, as he looked to try and pull the trigger. And a penalty kick it is for Crystal Palace as they look to regain the lead in this Premier League fixture. Obviously, VAR will check it. I'm pretty sure it's a penalty. And it will be Luka Milivojevic to take the captain if it is given, which I'm pretty sure it will, and it should do. Yeah, penalty kick given by VAR, and rightly so. Luka Milivojevic to take for Crystal Palace. He scored 28 Premier League goals in his career, and this is his 150th Premier League appearance in his career. He scored 28 goals, 22 of them being from the penalty spot. Can he make 23 penalties in the Premier League for Luka Milivojevic? He steps up. Fraser Forster goes the right way, and it's saved from Luka Milivojevic. Fraser Forster went to his left, Milivojevic's right, and he saves it. Not really in the corner from Milivojevic. Not the most convincing of penalties. Nice height for Forster, nice power for Forster to get across his goal in time to stop the Serbian midfielder scoring another penalty kick. Like I said, he's already scored 22 Premier League penalties in his career. It's not going to be 23. Or will he have a second chance with Forster off his line? Ooh, this could be interesting. This goalkeeping staying on the line for penalties is absolutely ridiculous, because being a keeper myself, it's so hard to stay on the line with at least one foot. It really is. Your instinct is to go forward to try and gain a bit of momentum. Oh no, he's right. His foot's on the line. His right foot is well on the line. That's not going to be retaken. No way. He's well on the line. Penalty saved. And that is Crystal Palace missing a massive opportunity to regain the lead from 12 yards. Nathan Redmond is definitely thinking to himself, I'm a lucky boy. Very, very lucky boy. Milivojevic, the captain, misses out. But we've got a captain's corner from Eze as he crosses it in. Headed away by Vestergaard. Volleyed once more by Minamino. Ward-Prowse will give chase on the Southampton right. Will he keep it in? Oh, he will. That's captain's work if I've ever seen it. He's seen the switch on here with Nathan Redmond. What a goal this will be. He brings it down Redmond. Che Adams is trying to get through. He looks to slot it through to him. He finds him in the box. Finds himself on the edge of the box as he goes backwards. And then finds Walker-Peters on the far right. Palace have got men back now. But the attack's still alive for Southampton nonetheless. Oh, he's played back towards Bednarek. A little too short, and Jordan Ayew can win it back for Palace as they look to break forward. He finds Zaha, who he knows got bags of pace. As he gets caught, though, from behind by Bednarek. Plays continued as Ayew picked up the loose ball, but then another late challenge there, and Bednarek will be booked eventually. 2 minutes from our time. Bednarek once again booked. Zaha looked to get away once, brought him down, and then Ayew looked to get away, and then brought him down as well. Jan Bednarek making sure nothing was going to be happening from that counter-attack. And Zaha playing it back to Scott down the centre half. Joel Ward. Ball zipped into Ayew, back to goal. Distributes to the right-hand side to Eze. Down the line it goes to Ayew. Pressured by Vestergaard. Spins his man. And plays it back to Eze. Lifted in towards Joel Ward, who looks offside to me as he heads it inside to Jordan Ayew, strikes it, but the flag's up for offside on Joel Ward. Decent half of football, I'm not going to lie. Like I said, it might be 17th versus 13th, where everyone's been relegated who can be relegated, and it's a bit of a nothing game, really. But, you know, each team clearly wants to win, especially Southampton, as Hasenhüttl's job is definitely on the line here, as he's had such a shocking end to the season. Now Bednarek on the ball over to Yannick Vestergaard as Southampton have lost their last 10 midweek Premier League games. So not lost, they've failed to win in those last 10 games, drawing 4 and losing 6. So they're not a fan of playing in midweek Southampton. You know, like I said, not winning in their last 10 of them, scoring only 4 and conceding 22. So yeah, they've not lost all of their last 10 midweek games, but they have not won in their last 10. Losing 6 of them. So they did go behind in this game, but they did get back in it, and they could definitely end that run of winless games in midweek. It's Walker-Peters going inside to Minamino. Can't find Ings. Cut out by Crystal Palace and played forward quickly by Eze. Caught late by Armstrong. No, the referee says he was already going down before the challenge was made, and it's now with Redmond who tries to release himself, but he's been held back by a Crystal Palace defender, and a free kick in a really dangerous area for Crystal Palace. It's I think Jordan Ayew, the man being booked. Let's have a look. So Eze looked to have been fouled, but he was already going down. Definitely not a foul for me. Then Redmond picked it up, got beyond one, and then was pulled down and clipped as well by Jordan Ayew, who's been booked and has given away the free kick in prime James Ward-Prowse territory. Literally around 22, 23 yards out for James Ward-Prowse. Crystal Palace were asking for the opposite foul. They thought was a foul by a Southampton player on Eze. But I really do think, if I'm going to be honest, Eze was already going down before Armstrong got anywhere near him, to be honest. He was just looking for it, and I think that the referee's made the right call there. I might have to see it again on a replay, but I think the referee's got that one right. James Ward-Prowse obviously is stood over the free kick. Scored many free kicks in his time. He's got 8 goals this season in the Premier League. 3 of them have been from penalties. And I remember commentating on Southampton travelling to Newcastle away, and he scored one of the best free kicks I think I've ever seen live. So he's got a chance. A lot close to this one. Again, about 22 yards out. It's primarily suited for a right-footed player to try and bend this into the top left corner. And it's James Ward-Prowse, the man on a mission, who gets over the wall and just wide of the post. And he knows it as he drops to his knees. We've had 2 minutes of added on time. We've played 1 minute and 40 of it. And it got over the wall. It was curling towards the top left corner, but just wide it goes, whiskers away. And Palace look to have survived that late first half free kick where they could have gone behind. But thankfully for themselves, Ward-Prowse missed it, but they probably should be ahead already. They did have a penalty, won by Zaha, taken by Milivojevic, and it was missed by the Serbian midfielder as Gaeta takes the goal kick up towards the halfway line. Half-time blow by Andy Madley. It is currently Southampton 1, Palace 1. A action-packed first half between these two sides. We got off to an unbelievable start with Christian Benteke scoring early for Crystal Palace. He scored in the second minute. It was a fantastic left-footed strike to get beyond Fraser Forster as he worked his own space to work the shot and then find the back of the net to give Palace a lead. And then just around 17 minutes later, in the 19th minute, Danny Ings got a great ball inside to him by Nathan Redmond. He was back to goal, but he took a touch and he was allowed to turn and struck it quickly with his right foot to guide it towards the far post where Gaeta was at full stretch but couldn't make it work out for him to save it. And it went into the back of the net. Danny Ings scored his 100th club senior goal. And it means his team are back in this game. But what an achievement as well, by the way. 100 club senior goals. Great striker Ings. Will he be at the club come the next season? Who knows? Who knows? That's the main question. But for now, he's a Southampton player and he's still scoring the goals. But yeah, I've enjoyed this game so far. If you've got any questions in the comments, let me know. But yeah, I'm enjoying myself. I mean, I didn't think there'd be many people coming out to check the stream, but a decent amount of people have come out and said hello and have joined. You know, the max amount of views we had at one point was 9, which is absolutely fantastic. Because I thought this would be the forgotten game, but clearly not. People are still interested. Let me just tell you on upcoming commentaries as well. It looks like the Champions League final is going to be heading to Portugal, not England with Wembley. It looks like it's going to be in Portugal for a second year on the bounce. Yeah, let me tell you future commentaries coming up. Let's get up quickly. So, we've got this one today. Then the next one, a bit of a break, 6 days, next Monday, 17th of May, 2021. We have got Bournemouth versus Brentford. Yes, Bournemouth versus Brentford. That is in the Championship playoff final, first leg. This is going to be the last Premier League commentary of the season. Unfortunately, yes, I know. But I've decided to turn my attention to the Championship playoffs instead of finishing the Premier League season because we know the champions, we know who's been relegated. I know there's a bit of a tussle for Europe, but if there is any time for me to fit any more commentaries in the Premier League and the schedule I've got, because I'm finishing school soon and loads of exams, and then the commentaries, it starts to fit in. So if I do find time, I will do another Premier League one, but at the minute, this is the last one. And then we have got planned the 22nd of May, the Saturday. So we've got the first leg on the Monday, the second leg on the Saturday. We've got, obviously, Bournemouth, Brentford, Barnsley, Swansea. But that day for me is a little busy because I might have football in the morning. Then my team, who obviously just drew before, like you saw me say, obviously they're allowing fans back in, and that's when we're allowed back in. That's our first home game back under the new guidelines, and that's at 3 o'clock kickoff. So it's a bit of a tight squeeze, to be honest, to commentate on one of the games. If anything happens where for some reason I can't get in the stadium or whatever, then that's fine. But it's just a tight squeeze because one kicks off at 12:30, and even if I have a game and I get back and I commentate on it, it finishes about, what that'd be, 12:30, 1:15, 2:15, and then I've got to leave here to get to the game quickly. I could do that, and I look to do that. So subscribe and like and all that, and follow the Instagram football_commentaries, and I'll update you if that championship semi-final second leg, if I can do it, then that'll be on the 22nd. Just keep an eye out. But if I can't do that, then I probably will change, and I'll do a different commentary, probably just to fill in. But yeah, like I said, that Saturday is very busy for me. So let's have a look. No, there's no real games on that 22nd weekend, if you know what I mean. All the Premier League games are on Sunday, all being played at once. So again, if that second leg doesn't happen, I'll try and find another game to watch and commentate on. If I can't, then obviously I'm just going to have to miss it out. And then my last commentary, the last club commentary of the season, will be the Championship playoff final, 29th of May. It will obviously be between the winners of Barnsley, Swansea and Bournemouth, Brentford. So obviously if I just do the first leg and I miss the second leg, then there'll be a commentary gap of 12 days, which obviously isn't my fault, but it is what it is. And then for the Euros, we'll do a few Euros commentaries as well while we're at it. Obviously all of you can access watching the Euros, hopefully, because obviously it's quite worldwide, that tournament. I know it's Euros, but I mean in terms of viewership, it's pretty much worldwide, so you can watch it anywhere. But I'll do a few of them, and then we're done for the season. So currently at the minute, we've got take away this game, we've got 3 commentaries left. Playoff semi-final first leg, possibly doing the second leg if I can fit it in within my day, and then the final as well, which will definitely be happening 29th of May, same day as the Champions League final, but obviously being played beforehand. So yeah, a good end to the season. I think I'm doing a few good commentaries there. Obviously, I've done pretty much the Premier League all season. I've done a few Bundesliga ones. Obviously, we've done Champions League as well and a few Europas. But I wanted to change it up from Premier League to the Championship because I do like the Championship. I think it's a great league. And like I said, the Premier League, everything's kind of wrapped up. It's just Champions League places that are still questioned. But I'm pretty sure it will be Leicester and Chelsea to grab those 2 spots. So like I said, it's just a little bit irrelevant to do the Premier League when the Championship playoffs are so good. Whenever the Championship playoffs are on, I watch them, just because they're just fantastic. Just everything's on the line, and you can tell by the way the teams play that their whole season does depend on it. And obviously it does. They've worked all season to get into the playoffs, and it could all be took away by one chance or one spectacular goal. Do you know what I mean? So it is exciting. So I thought, oh, what a goal! So obviously I just thought there's no point doing the Premier League because the games aren't as important, and I'd rather do more important and intense games like the Championship playoffs. So make sure you look out for that. Like I said, definitely doing the first leg. Second leg is in doubt, and I'll definitely be doing the Championship playoff final. So yeah, like I said, we're just having a look at this save again from the penalty. Milivojevic went right, Forster guessed left and saved it, and it was a fantastic save. But you've got to admit, if you've seen it or if you see it later on, it's a perfect height, it's a perfect power, it's a easy save really, and for Forster, you just had to guess the right way. And that's what he did, and he saved it. But we're 1-1 at half-time. Will we see any more goals in this game? I think we will. I'm gonna edge towards a Southampton win. I know they've only won 2 in their last 17 Premier League games, but I have a feeling they're going to take this game. I really do. But yeah, half-time, will be ending in about a minute or two time. But yeah, the team that I'm watching currently in the National League that I need to lose have just gone ahead. When I said nice goal, that's what I was watching then. Yeah, basically my team is going in for the title, but we pretty much need to win every game, and then hopefully they slip up and we've slipped up and the others are winning. So it looks like playoffs in the end for my team, which is going to be a little bit tense, like the Championship playoffs, which will be commentated on this channel. Make sure you check out the channel in the upcoming weeks for them games. So yeah, it's a tense one. Never experienced playoffs, if I'm going to be honest, as a fan. So it'll be interesting to see how it feels. Yeah, I just hope for goals. You know, like a 3-3, like an end-to-end and thrilling 3-3 to finish Premier League commentaries for the channel this season, as long as everything goes to plan. If not, we could see one more, but I doubt it. And then we do it all again next season. Exciting. Obviously, no Super League, thank goodness. So that was washed out the water pretty quick, and doesn't look like that'll ever be happening, just due to the fans not allowing it. To be, if we're going to be completely honest, they tried it on us, it failed, thankfully, and our beautiful game is still intact. Maybe not what it was in terms of the integrity of the game, due to money grabbing owners who don't even understand the game. But you know, we've got our game. We've got it. We've got it. No Super League. That was tense. That, and looking back now, like it actually looked like our game was just being ripped away from us with this Super League, and then within 48 hours it was gone. Pretty much every team in England had pulled out, and some in Spain, and you know, that was it. Gone. But we are getting near to 9:15, and we're still not kicked off for the second half of this game. Yeah. Last fixture was 1-0, so we've got more than that between these two sides. The one before that was 2-0 to Southampton, then we've had back-to-back 1-1s before that, so in recent times there has been a flurry of 1-1s. So let's just be careful. Yeah, kickoff would get underway in about a minute or two time. Hopefully, anyway. Yeah, I feel like this half-time break has gone on forever. I was like, probably got some things to talk about. And then, it's a 50-50 with these 15-minute breaks. You either get them go flying, and before you know it, it's the second half, and then you got some that just feel like they just won't end. And it's just like, just give me the football back, please. Just want to be watching the football. But I'm going to predict a 3-2 win for Southampton. Danny Ings hat-trick. Benteke is going to get a brace. And we'll all go to bed with a big smile on our face because we've watched a fantastic game of Premier League football. Obviously as well, commiserations I forgot to mention to the likes of Sheffield United, West Brom, and obviously Fulham of last night being relegated. It's not nice to be relegated, but then I say that, I've never been relegated as a fan as well. But I can't imagine it being the nicest of experiences, getting your team going from the top division to the second division. Just at 9:15, still no sign of the second half Getting underway, here we go. We're about to get underway very soon. Another goal. Yeah, what a goal. Looks like the players are going to be getting out for the second half very, very shortly. I think Southampton are the first out of the tunnel. And another break. They love squeezing in an ad break, don't they? These television companies. Anytime they can just squeeze an advert in, they'll do it. Not to give in one care about the fans. Just, you know what? The teams aren't ready yet. Put another advert down the throat, which they'll have to watch. Then we are back again. Oh, now they're showing replays. That Benteke goal was a decent goal. Off his head. Boom. Through the legs of Forster. What a finish. Christian Benteke, then Danny Ings, 20th minute or 19th. Took it down on the turn. Boom. What a goal. Danny Ings, what a player. I won't be surprised if he's not at Southampton come the end of the year. And then obviously a Milivojevic penalty was saved by Forster 5 minutes before half time. Is that a change for Southampton? It is. Jan Bednarek, the Polish international, is being replaced by the Ghanaian international Mohamed Salisu, who was signed in the summer from Real Valladolid. And he comes on for his 9th appearance in the Premier League. Can he make a difference? I'm not sure if it's a little knock for Bednarek or the fact he's booked. That might be a reason why they've opted to swap out their centre-backs. But Mohamed Salisu's in. That's the only change of the half. As we're back underway with Southampton kicking left to right, Palace right to left. Westergaard diagonally switches it towards Adams, who gets to flick on towards Redmond. Cheku Kiarte gets there first, clears down the line, and only as far as a Southampton throw-in. Quickly taken toward Prowse. Stevens, nice ball inside to Armstrong, tries to get beyond one player but gets swiped out by Milivojevic, and it'll be a free kick for Southampton as Milivojevic also goes down, the man who committed the foul, so it looks like he's also injured himself in the process. Great ball for great chance to put the ball in for Southampton. Milivojevic is still down on the ground, the man who committed the foul. Not currently getting any medical attention. You know, I don't know if that's... I don't know what's wrong with him, to be completely honest, as he was the one who fouled Stuart Armstrong on the Southampton left. Both players are back on their feet, wobbling. So he's on the left, it'll be a James Ward-Prowse ball, quite far out, so yeah, that's to be a good cross to put it on a defender or an attacker's head for Southampton and get enough power to divert it beyond the goalkeeper Vincent Gaeta. Ward-Prowse looking forward, one arm in the air, he crosses the ball, it's helped on towards the far post where it'll loop over onto the roof of the net for a corner kick. Adams went for it, must have come off Joel Ward last, who's won another header in his defensive third, and in the end concedes a corner kick. So corner for Southampton. It'll be an out-swinging James Ward-Prowse ball from the Southampton right-hand side. Ward-Prowse it is. Again, he's got bodies to aim at. They've got height in that box, Southampton. They need to try and make the most of it if they can. Put in low, hit, and it goes all the way across to the far post, and it's been helped in by Che Adams. It's a well-worked Southampton corner, and as Crystal Palace scored 2 minutes within the first half, Southampton have replied by scoring 2 minutes in the second half to give themselves the lead. Ward-Prowse looked like he was going to put the ball high into the box to aim for one of those taller Southampton players, but he played it along the ground in the end, and as he peeled away from his man, Stuart Armstrong played it all the way across. I'm not sure if he was trying to shoot or he was trying to cross it. Whatever he was trying to do, it fell all the way to the back post, gets beyond a bunch of players from both teams, and in the end it falls all the way across to Che Adams, who somehow, from the tightest of angles, squeezes it in beyond Chiarte and Gaeta, and it gives the Southampton team the lead. Far post, right-footed, tight angle, the post is right at his face, so, to avoid the post and avoid the keeper and the defender to get it into the back of the net, it's quite the goal from Che Adams, and Southampton have reversed the scoreline. It's gone from them losing 1-0 to them winning 2-0. Che Adams with the goal. It's his 8th of the season. It's his 12th in the Premier League as a whole, and his 64th appearance. And what a game to score. Redmond heads it forward to Ings. Now back to Jack Stevens. The Southampton are already back on the ball early in this second half. Che Adams looks to play the cross towards Minamino. Can't quite do so, but he's been fouled as he released it. He was just pushed off the ball, and it'll be a free kick for Southampton to take. Jack Stevens on it. Southampton not conceded more than 2 goals in their last 3 games. The last time they did concede more than 2 was in the 3-0 loss to West Brom. And they've also not had a clean sheet in their last 7 games. Their last one was against Sheffield United back in early March. They might not have a clean sheet. They might not concede more than 3, but what the main thing is they're winning and they're currently collecting 3 points. Jordan Ayew playing right wing for Palace today. He's on the right and he tries to work across between Jack Stevens and Ward-Prowse, but between the both of them they've blocked it for a corner kick for Palace as they look to reply as quick as they can against this Saints team. And Palace are looking for their first league double over the Saints since the 1990-1991 season, where they beat Southampton 3-2 and 2-1 that season. So it'll be Eze to take the corner. This one's got height and it's got 2 Benteke as it's been punched out by Forster, helped on by Minamino as far as Joe Ward, who heads it in towards the corner of the box, and no Palace players followed his track of thought, and Che Adams can see it out for a goal kick. Interesting though from Fraser Forster. I'm not sure why he's punched that header. I think he could have easily caught that, but he kind of punched it away. So I thought Benteke got up the highest, he won it, and then he's punched it, he's like palmed it out like that to the edge of the box. Bit of a weird save. I think he could have saved it, but he could have caught it, but the main thing is he's kept out of his goal, and Southampton are still maintaining their lead. As Joe Ward throws it down the line to Ayew, as Palace have won the ball back already. Can he win another corner? Ayew, he can, as he deflects it off Jack Stevens this time. Yeah, Fraser Forster there just couldn't quite work the goal kick in Southampton's favour and ended up being a Palace throw-in, and they've worked a corner from it. Again, the man from QPR, Abarici Eze, take it short to Zaha. Gets an early cross in, and it's not being met by Forster, and it goes all the way through towards Benteke, but he couldn't bring it down. It falls to Jack Stevens, who then plays it through to Minamino, doesn't have the strength on Joe Ward, who bullies him off the ball, and Palace have it back, and probably should have scored Benteke there. Great ball by Zaha. Forster came out to try and parry it away again, but he missed it completely, and I don't think Benteke was anticipating the ball, and in the end, Southampton survive once again. But quick pressure from Palace to try and get back in the game as Gaeta sends it forward towards Zaha, won by Vestergaard, but falls to Ayew. He's now worked it to Riedeveld. Can't use his strength to get beyond Ward-Prowse, and Southampton have the ball back now with Stuart Armstrong. That's Nathan Redmond. Back to Mohamed Salisu, the young 22-year-old centre-back. Jack Stevens. It looks like there is going to be a bit of a change here for Southampton, where Jack Stevens, who's been playing at left-back, will shift into centre-back, and Salisu will play left-back because Salisu is left-footed. Stevens is right-footed playing left-back, so it looks like Stevens will tuck into centre-back and Salisu will go out wide to left-back as Che Adams has been found, and men are over here for Southampton, and one of them is Redmond on the left. Takes a bit of a poor touch, has to try and take on Ward, does do so and shoots. Blocked, and it will loop and go away for a Southampton throw-in. Adams found the space there with Redmond. Took a bit of a poor touch and had to face up Ward 1-on-1. And as he tried to work the space, his shot was blocked. And Southampton have a throw-in. Thrown by Redmond into Armstrong. Finds Ings. Tries to get Milivojevic on the turn. Can't quite do so. Tackled in the end. And it's now Jordan Ayew. Strides forward with the ball. Outside of the boot ball. Looking for Zaha on the left. And he's found him. He's 1-on-1 with Yannick Vestergaard. On the edge of the box. Tries to go inside. Is he caught? Yes, he is. Free kick for Palace right on the edge. And it's going to be a yellow card for Yannick Vestergaard. As he smiles and laughs towards the referee. But I don't know what the laughing matter is. It's definitely a free kick, I think. Great ball from Ayew to find Zaha in the space. The pass was nearly blocked off by Walker-Peters and Ward-Prowse, but in the end it found Zaha. Tried to cut in on the right on the edge of the box. He was just tripped in the end by Yannick Vestergaard. And a free kick for Crystal Palace. Vestergaard still arguing the case that Zaha may have dived. But Milivojevic, who missed from 12 yards from the spot, has a chance to maybe score from around 20 yards out, but Eze is also over at the man who's had a great first season in the Premier League, scoring 4 and assisting 5 times. Scoring in the last game against Sheffield United away in their last fixture, and also assisting in that one as well. But it looks like Eze's walking away from it, so it will be Milivojevic to take, who will look to try and make up for the blunder of a miss for his penalty. He hits the wall, it deflects back to him on the edge of the box, clips it in, deflects it back towards him to Eze. He then shifts it out wide right to Ayew. Ball across, stopped by the feet of Forster. And cleared out for a throw-in for Crystal Palace. This is a proper end-to-end game of football. Really enjoying this one. Currently still Southampton 2, Palace 1. We're close to the 55th minute in this one. Joel Ward gets the return from the throw-in. Tries to go inside. Back to Chiarte. Tries to lift it into the box. Blocked off by Danny Ings. And a throw-in on the halfway it will be for Crystal Palace. Roy Hodgson sits down in his seat. The man who's managed Inter Milan at his time, the international country of Finland, Fulham, Liverpool, West Brom and England as well, alongside a lot of other clubs. Roy Hodgson might be finishing his managerial career at Palace as he is coming up to the age of 74 in August. Zaha on the left. Mitchell forward to Eze, flicked in looking for Zaha behind him. Couldn't find him. Walker-Peters helps it forward to Adams. Takes a touch and keeps it in play. Plays it back to Walker-Peters, who again lifts it in towards Minamino. Can't take it on the turn because he's blocked off by Scott Dan. And he commits a foul there, Dan. And gives away a foul for Minamino and Southampton. Inside their own half, Southampton will have a free kick. Yannick Vestergaard to take. 28-year-old centre-back. His birthday is also in August. Salisi back to Forster. First time clearance going over to the left hand side to Redmond. He can keep it in and touch it into Danny Ings just inside the Palace half on the far left hand side. He just edges it back to Stevens and then puts a couple of 1-2s with the makeshift left back. Now going into centre back Stevens and then plays it across to Ward-Prowse. He then switches it over to Walker-Peters. It's the perfect ball. He brings it down and plays Minamino forward. Tries to go back inside towards Walker-Peters. He picks it up off the deflection. Plays it across and it's an important interception by Scott Dan to stop any danger for Southampton to try and score another goal. Good ball from Walker-Peters. Playing it down the line. Squeezed back in to Walker-Peters after taking a deflection off Tyreek Mitchell as he put a cross in towards the front post. Scott Dan got there across ahead of Che Adams and avoided any further damage for Crystal Palace. So Ward-Prowse on the corner. We saw a corner kick tactic work before as he went low and the ball was played across. He's lifted it in, headed away to the edge to Minamino, who works it back to Ward-Prowse, shifts it onto his right foot, gets a cross in towards the far post. It falls again to Che Adams, who brings it down, but I think Jack Stevens, just in front of him, pushed his man away from the ball to avoid him from heading it away from Adams, and it'll be a free kick to Crystal Palace. Ball was going over and then Jack Stevens just putting 2 hands in the back of Milivojevic. Don't think there's much in it, not much contact, but the referees give a free kick in the end. Guaita to take this free kick just in front of the 6-yard area. His all yellow kit sends it towards the Palace right. Missed by Benteke, but he pushed Jack Stevens in the process to try and gain an advantage, and he gives away a free kick in the Southampton half for the Saints. Hasenhüttl barking out instructions. He's only won one trophy as a manager, and that was with Ingolstadt 04, winning the second-tier German league back in 2014-15. Did get to the FA Cup semi-final with Southampton this year, but stopped at one of their last hurdles against Leicester City. Salisu. Ward-Prowse over to Yannick Vestergaard. First time ball down the line to Walker-Peters. Lift and around the corner it goes to Minamino, who brings it down. One-on-one with Scott Dan on the Southampton right-hand side. Back to Walker-Peters. Armstrong, Walker-Peters again. Back to Yannick Vestergaard. Southampton keeping possession. And he looks for a switch there. Vestergaard has even maybe thought Nathan Redmond was making a run in behind. But he weren't quite on the same wavelength, and he goes for a Crystal Palace goal kick as we're just over half an hour left. It's still 2-1 to Southampton. They went 1-0 down in the second minute, but they've turned it around. Goal kick taken. Benteke flicks on towards Ayew. Sorry, it's been a long day. Southampton do win a free kick there. Benteke just again using too much of his muscle in an illegal way, but they've won it back Palace with a great tackle, I think, from Zaha in the end. And it's now with Mitchell Milivojevic back to the goalkeeper Vincent Gaeta. First time clearance up the pitch, searches and finds absolutely nothing. Half an hour to go. 2-1. Southampton back in possession after a poor clearance from Vincent Gaeta. Salisu. Back to Stevens. Ball rolls over his foot. Benteke's in the box, and a left-footed strike goes wide. I said the ball went over his foot. It actually went under his foot. But I think he's made a fantastic recovery side challenge to actually block the shot to make it go wide. Salisu played it to him under no pressure. The ball just went under his foot. Benteke stormed in the box, left foot, tried to place it, and I think it was heading into that bottom left corner, but Jack Stevens got back quick enough to block it as it's been taken quickly the corner. Zaha who strikes another corner from the opposite side as it was deflected. What a chance for Crystal Palace. Benteke misses an opportunity to get his 9th in the Premier League, 10th in all competitions, one of them being in the under-23s Premier League, so it doesn't really count. But playing his 253rd Premier League game, he has scored his 80th goal. Can he score another one for Palace? He was close there, but not close enough. Eze to take this corner. He's got a lot of height in it towards the back post where Milivojevic can't win the header. It's off Ward-Prowse, and Salisu then clears to Minamino, who helps it on to the chasing Danny Ings, but it falls to Tyrick Mitchell, who puts it into the sky. Header won by Che Adams, forward to Redmond, laid it off to Stuart Armstrong, then back forward to Redmond, the attack's on. Redmond looking back inside to Armstrong, finds him, and he looks to go inside. It's a crucial tackle in the end, and a Southampton corner kick it is, as Armstrong nearly entered the box there with a scoring opportunity. Great play for Southampton, going from defence to attack within seconds, and a Redmond ball back inside towards Armstrong was beautiful, brought it down with some authority and ease, but then Tyrick Mitchell came over to tackle him and not allow him any chance to maybe get a shot on target. Ward-Prowse again to take, no surprise with that one. And Nick Vestergaard's in there. You've got to remember, you just don't know what Southampton are going to do with these corners, because that one where they played it along the ground and got it to the far post and then it was scored is you know, it's intelligence. It's something different to try and trick the opponents. Crossed in up towards Gaeta, who can catch firmly against the towering Yannick Vestergaard. Gaeta puts it onto the floor and then clears off the ground. towards Benteke, who can't quite win the flick on. Falls towards Ayew, brought down by Ward-Prowse. Poked back to Jack Stevens, who plays it across to Kyle Walker-Peters. Not much support, but he has got some of it with Ward-Prowse in the midfield. Armstrong. Over to Salisu. Armstrong curled around the corner, looking for Nathan Redmond. Too much on it. And there will be a throw-in for Crystal Palace as this game sticks at 2-1. But a change for Crystal Palace. It looks like Premier League winner with Leicester, Jeffrey Schlupp, is going to be coming on. I'm not sure who he will replace, but it will be an interesting change to make. Benteke heads on the throw-in, but can't be helped on by any Palace players. It's now back with Southampton with Vestergaard. Poor ball. Eze picks it up and tries to play it forward to Zaha, but a poor ball from him means Southampton can regain possession. It's now with Ings. Ball switched over towards Redmond. Is there enough on it? No. Joel Ward cuts it out, but only as far as a throw-in as his header was a little bit wayward and went out of play. It will be number 4 to come off, so another positive change. Luka Milivojevic, who did miss that penalty in the 40th minute to put his team ahead, missed it, and the captain will be coming off, and the man to replace him will be Jeffrey Schlupp, number 15. He's been injured for 17 games so far in all competitions this year. Has played Southampton back in the 2011-12 season for Brentford. It was a 3-0 loss in the Championship, so he's got some history dating back when playing Southampton. Jeffrey Schlupp. Played in by Redmond. Too heavy for Minamino, but Vestergaard wins it back from a poor ball from Tyreek Mitchell. It's now Kyle Walker-Peters. Can he get it out of his feet? No, he can't. One back by Tyreek Mitchell as he bombs down the left-hand side. Runs out of space, but he's been bundled over. Well, say bundled, just knocked off balance by Kyle Walker-Peters in the end. And a free kick it is for Mitchell. Despite the complaints of Kyle Walker-Peters, it was given in the end. Take quickly, Jordan Ayew. Over to Ayew. To Eze. It's now Ward joining the attack. Gets it across to Riedeveld. Now to the left-hand side to Wilfried Zaha, the main man. Inside the box to Benteke. Lays it off to Schlupp, who shoots, and it's another good save with the feet of Forster. Falls to the edge of the box to Riedeveld, but the flag's up for offside. I'm not sure who offside is. Who the offside's for or against. Let's have a look. Ball played out to Zaha. Finds Benteke. It's a very, very close one. If that's the offside he's flagged for, but may have just been off in the end. Southampton to take this free kick with Fraser Forster. He's had many loans in his career, one at Stockport County, Bristol Rovers, Norwich, and when he was at Celtic last year he also spent the year on loan. The 33-year-old now goalkeeper. He's made 6 appearances for his country. Puts the ball in the air. Header won by Scott Dan. As far as Takumi Minamino for Southampton. It's now Walker-Peters. Nicely gets the ball inside to Jack Stevens and works it past the press of Southampton as they look over to the left-hand side now in their own half with Salisu. Finds Redmond first time ball forward to Danny Ings. Forward but inside to Che Adams. Now Armstrong plays it quickly to the Southampton left as they look to get it in behind towards the byline for Stuart Armstrong, but too much on it from Danny Ings, and it will be a goal kick for Crystal Palace to take. We are currently about to hit the 67th minute. It's still Southampton 2, Palace 1. Goals from Benteke, Danny Ings and Che Adams. Danny Ings has now 4 goals in 10 against Palace, 1 for Burnley in a 14-15 3-2 loss when they were both in the Premier League, as Jordan Ayew finds Zaha now in the box, left-footed strike, easily blocked by Kyle Walker-Peters. And a free kick, it will not be for Southampton, it will be a throw-in instead. Throw-in's been waiting to be taken by Tyreek Mitchell, throws it into Schlupp, try to work a bit of room for a cross, stopped by Walker-Peters and cleared by Minamino. Up towards Danny Ings. And a misplaced ball though by Scott Dann as Palace had won it back momentarily. But now Minamino looks for a switch, cut out nicely by Riedeveld, and it's now Benteke who's just tried to spin while Prowse gets caught in the process. Free kick for Palace. Take quickly over to the left hand side to Mitchell. It's now Zaha. Eze. Deep inside the Palace attacking back lines. As they look to try and crack this code of Palace again. Of Southampton. Jack Stevens heads away the forward ball. As far as Schlupp finds Zaha inside to Benteke. Holds it up, back to goal. Lays it into Eze just a little bit far behind him. And it's now Joel Ward. Puts into the box there, but it's cleared away by Vestergaard as it was deflected. And cleared away up towards... Oh no, nearly. Che Adams nearly won it on Chiarte there as they both went for the header. But Chiarte recovered and kept the ball for Crystal Palace. With Mitchell. The left back's on the ball. Again, just chips it down the line to Eze. Can't get inside because he's been tackled, but a foul, says the referees. He was caught a little late there, just inside his own half on the left-hand side. Taken with Riedeveld. Joe Ward. Ayew brought down, but then gets back up and wins it back off Redmond, but then gives it away as he goes the wrong way to Armstrong, but he looks to roulette his man. But in the end, it's out for a throw-in for Southampton as they can't keep it in possession for now. We've got just around 20 minutes left plus added on time in this game, and it looks like Michy Batshuayi will be coming on for Crystal Palace. Will be the last roll of the dice for Roy Hodgson. It'll be interesting to see who comes off. Joe Ward with the throw-in. Finds Zaha. Back it goes to Scott Dann as there's space on this left as Eze's been found ahead of Mitchell, the left back. Gets beyond one. Finds ball to Benteke. Releases it in the end to Zaha. Pulls it back in towards the box. Deflects off Vestergaard. He spins. He shoots Benteke. It's blocked and it falls to Redmond, who can then work it away from the Palace player and clear up towards Ings, who's fell on his backside and no foul given by the referee. Zaha to Eze. Crosses it. Cleared. Looks towards halfway where Armstrong heads it on. Up towards Che Adams, who nearly gets there ahead of Riedeveld, but doesn't do so in the end. It's now Scott Dann. Zipped into Benteke. Lays it off to Zaha. It's now over to Zaha. Sorry, that was Jeffrey Schlupp. Zaha now to Schlupp on the edge. Bylines Mitchell. Gets across and it's blocked off by Jack Stevens as West Ham are just knocking at that door ever so slightly. In terms of a break from commentaries, I think it's definitely due. Just when you've got school on the side, you just get tired very easily. As Michy Batshuayi will be coming on for the last 20 or so minutes, replacing Jordan Ayew. Did only score one goal this season, other than last season where he got 9 in all competitions, only the one this year, starting at 21 of the 30 games he's played, or now starting 22 of the 31 he's played. But there was no start for him in the last 2 games. So he had a point to prove. He didn't really do much, to be fair to him, as Schlupp has it. It's now to Zaha. Shifts onto the right foot. Gets a good cross in. Headed away by Vestergaard as it's only in the air. It's brought down and cleared by Che Adams in the end. Only as far as Joe Ward, who will pump it back in the box. Well, not back in the box. He'll put it over again to Juan. To Eze. Eze trying to receive the ball too much on it, goes under his foot, picked up by Southampton again. Towards Danny Ings, who gets there ahead of his defender and taken out afterwards, and could be Ellegard. That I think it was Che Adams who did it, not Danny Ings. Yes, it was Che Adams. So free kick for Southampton to take. Ward-Prowse back to Vestergaard. Now finds Salisu. Side towards Ward-Prowse. Just about gets it to him on the halfway line. Played forward to Minamino. Then once more over to Kyle Walker-Peters. Back it goes again to Jack Stevens on the halfway line. Yannick Vestergaard now over to Salisu. Lifted ball over, brought down by Walker-Peters into Minamino. Looks for a cross and too much is on it. Danny Ings couldn't get there quick enough, forced to the keeper. In as Palace look to attack. Palace have only won one of their last 5 games. It's been launched forward towards Batshuayi, who gets there ahead of Vestergaard. Brought down by the Danish international, but fairly, says the referee. Palace, like I said, winning one of their last 5, drawing the other 1-1 to Everton. Then their 3 losses have consisted of a 4-1 loss, a 2-1 loss, and a 2-0 loss, scoring 5, conceding 9 as well. And Ward-Prowse lifts the ball over to Jack Stevens in the end, who takes a touch forward. Fine kind of Walker-Peters in the Palace half. Minamino inside to Ward-Prowse again. Zips it in towards Adams, who just about gets it under control and slots it through to Danny Ings, who pokes the ball into the bottom right corner. He's bagged the brace, and Danny Ings has linked up with his strike partner, Che Adams, to put Southampton 2 goals ahead against Palace in their own backyard to try and put a little bit of gloss over this quite disappointing season on the whole. Danny Ings has scored his 100th and 101st senior club career goal tonight, and they've both been fantastic trademark Danny Ings goals. A run ahead of Scott Dan as he was played through, got there ahead of his defender and the goalkeeper, right foot, poked it, past the keeper, slots it, side netting, bottom right corner. Beautiful goal for Danny Ings. He's played Palace 10 times, he's scored against them 5 times, and this is one hell of a goal and one hell of a game and one hell of a performance from Danny Ings. Southampton 3, Crystal Palace 1, and that 2-minute lead from Palace has been washed away with poor defending, prolific Danny Ings, and also a penalty miss from Milivojevic. And as he scores on the 75th minute mark, he's also replaced by Michael Omafemi. The young Irish striker does replace Danny Ings. As yes, he might not have had the best of seasons. He got 25 in all competitions last year, and he's only got 13 this year. But still a fantastic striker as he's replaced Danny Ings there. As he did miss the last 2 games, just with a little bit of an injury, as he picked it up against Spurs away. But he's come back today and he's scored 2 unbelievable goals. As he puts his team in the lead. It's going to be 3 wins in 18 for Southampton. It will put them on 37 points. There's a bit of a fight going on. Well, not a fight, that's a complete lie. Just trying to over-exaggerate it. A little bit of a coming together there between Chiarte and Ward-Prowse. As I think this result would put Southampton 14th, a place below Crystal Palace, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it would put them 1 point behind Palace on 40 points. Palace on 41, and a place just below them. Looks a lot better than 37th, that. Yeah, it's coming together, I think, there between Chiarte and Ward-Prowse. They're probably both going to get booked as well. Chiarte's getting a word too, so at least definitely Chiarte's getting booked. I'll have to see what would have happened. And they're going to show a replay, I'm not too sure. Let's have a look. Yep, ball was kneed forward by Chiarte. Redeveloped was caught late, and so was Jeffrey Schlupp by Ward-Prowse. And then Chiarte's just come in to stand up for his teammates, and he's picked up a booking as he's shoved Ward-Prowse a few times. But a free kick for Palace has been taken, headed on by Benteke. Flicked back towards him by Scott Dan. Poor touch, and Stevens can clear it forward to Kyle Walker-Peters. Heavy touch. No, it was a tackle by Zaha, and a Southampton throw-in as Chiarte has been booked. And that is another booking for Crystal Palace. And like we said, Southampton haven't won in their last 10 Premier League midweek games, but that will change on the 11th attempt as they will win this game, all being well, after drawing 4 and losing 6 of their last 10. But last roll of the dice as well for Palace, I think, is Christian Benteke, the goal scorer of that second minute goal, is replaced by Mateta, and that is John Philippe Mateta, signed on loan from Mainz from on loan. The Frenchman, he's played 6 times for Crystal Palace. He scored once, and that was that goal against Brighton, that cheeky back heel you may have seen as they took that game to Brighton and ended up winning it 2-1 in the end. A late Benteke goal nicked the points for Palace that day. So they took the game to Brighton. They were really outplayed by Brighton, but at the end of the game, they took the game to them and ended up nicking a point. As we're back underway here with Vestergaard on the ball for Southampton, as Benteke comes off a little disappointed after giving his team such a good start so early on. But Southampton have put their poor form aside and decided to get a grip and actually perform well for their fans, as a Vestergaard pass has been intercepted by Mitchell on the halfway line. It's played forward to Zaha, now back inside to Jeffrey Schlupp. Tackled by Michael Obafemi, the Irish young striker. He's played it forward but knocks off the ball, and Palace man got there first from his pass, so it will be replayed back for a free kick. But Michael Obafemi, the Irishman, he's been injured for a lot of this season. He made his comeback in Southampton's last game against Liverpool, where he played 24 minutes. Before that, he was out for the last 17 Premier League games before that Liverpool one, and he did also play 84 minutes in the 2-0 win against Palace last season, and that was away from home on the 21st of January of 2020. So hopefully we see good things from him. He also scored a late equaliser against Manchester United last year, which you may remember. Stevens clears it with a little bit of panic, but gets it away from Batshuayi, and it's now with Stuart Armstrong. Finds a gap towards Minamino, drifted central, and he's got players on here. Che Adams is one of them. Waits too long to play it to him, so finds Redmond, who's further left. Everything's to his right. Gets it back inside to Minamino, who shoots, deflects, loops in the sky, heads away, and then Ward-Prowse meets it as it bounces into the keeper's hands. And Southampton looking for a fourth. Can't find the fourth yet, with 10 minutes of the game yet to play. But in terms of Palace's all-time stats in the Premier League as well, it's quite interesting to see Zaha is a big part of all of them. If we're going to be honest, Zaha's got the most appearances in the Premier League for Palace. He's played 227 Premier League games for Crystal Palace. He's got the most goals for Palace with 46. That is behind joint second place of Benteke and Milivojevic. I say joint second, it's now Benteke in second on 29. Zaha sitting on 46. So a real impact for Palace. You can understand why they don't want to let him go. You know, he's been there. He's been at the club now for a while. He started at Palace in 2000. I think, and 2009, I want to say, if I can read my own writing. It could be 2004, that. But he started his early career at Palace, then joined Manchester United for 2 years, from 2013 to 2015, and then back to Palace in 2015. And, you know, he's been a fantastic player since. As Che Adams has it, out wide right to Minamino, touches it onto Walker-Peters, who gets it across, and another fantastic defensive block by Joe Ward to stop the attack, and another goal for Southampton. It was well worked, ball from the midfield through to Adams, shifted it past Chiarte, played it across to Minamino, flicked it on to Walker-Peters, across looking for Michael Obafemi, but it was stopped by Joe Ward, as it would have been an easy tap in for the striker. Can they make it 4 goals? Southampton. They've scored 44 now in their Premier League campaign. Ings being the top goal scorer with 12. Crossed in by Ward-Prowse. Another great ball. There's many players who's hit the deck. The referee just ignored it all and allowed Palace to clear only as far as Stuart Armstrong. Plays it forward, it's on the left-hand side, it's Obafemi, goes a long way down the byline and looks to get a cross in towards Vestergaard. Stopped by Chiarte, cleared by Chiarte, up to Mateta, who holds it up and finds Ayew on the right. Down the line it goes. Sorry, that was, I'm not sure who that was, I can't quite see. I think it was Zaha, no, Batshuayi, sorry, who gave the ball away in the end of a misplaced pass. And Southampton are back in possession with Armstrong. Finds Redmond down the line, it's tight spaces, but they've got out the tight spaces. He goes inside Redmond, but the touch is too heavy. And finds Eze. Zaha to Mateta. Can't shift it along to another Palace player. Picked up again by Southampton with Ward-Prowse, the captain. The man with 6 England caps and a goal. against San Marino in the last set of international games, in the March internationals. Vestergaard back into Ward-Prowse, takes it on the turn, get away from the pressure of Michy Batshuayi, the man on loan from Chelsea. It's now with Armstrong. Oh, he runs forward, he keeps running, surrounded by Palace shirts. Ball gets nicked away from him in the end, and Palace have it back now with Eze on the left, laying it off to Jaro Riedeveld. Back inside to Eze, and to Riedeveld again. Back to Mitchell, who's keeping Patrick Van Arnold out of the team for now. It's now Dan, who's replaced Cahill for this game. Gets it to Schlupp. Now to Ward. Down the line it goes to Zaha. Fall to the ground by Mohamed Salisu. And it will be a free kick for Crystal Palace as we play 83.5 minutes of this Premier League fixture. That was meant to be played on Gameweek 32. That's why it's Gameweek 32 in the thumbnail and in the title, because it's supposed to be played in Gameweek 32, but it was shifted to now due to Southampton being in the FA Cup semi-final. Ball lifted forward, flicked on by Mateta, can't find Batshuayi, headed away by Southampton towards Ward-Prowse, can't keep it under possession, and it's now with Riedeveld. Mitchell, Eze, round the corner, lifted to Batshuayi in the box, plays it inside and goes down and cleared away for a throw-in. He doesn't ask for a penalty, I think he just lost his footing, but what a ball from Eze. He's a really, really good young potential player, lifts it outside of the boot, curls it right to Batshuayi, what a ball. And as he looked to get beyond Vestergaard, he nearly did do so, but from the throw-in, Minamino's came away with it, tries to get into Obafemi, and in the end, Obafemi tried to play back towards him. It deflected off a Palace player back to Obafemi, didn't know about it, and his touch went out of play for a throw-in for Palace in the halfway line on their left-hand side. So yeah, for Milivojevic as well, just want to highlight it was his 150th Premier League appearance tonight, and he was looking to score his 23rd Premier League penalty, but he was saved by Forster, and that was at the time when the game was at 1-1 in the 40th minute, so what a time it would have been for him to score, but he did miss the penalty. Good save by Forster, and then Palace have crumbled from there, and from there as well, Southampton have grew in the game and got the chances and scored the chances. Southampton with a throw-in. Into Adams, lifts it over the top for Obafemi, will give chase to Chiarte, puts him under pressure and pushes him in the back and ends up conceding the free kick. Obafemi. But I also want to say as well for Benteke's goal, he also scored in the 7th minute in their last game against Sheffield United away from home as well. He scored in the 2nd minute of that one to give the Eagles the lead against rock bottom Sheffield United, and then they capped off that win with Eze scoring a fantastic individual running goal in the 88th minute. So a bit of a weird one there. Benteke scoring in the 2nd minute of obviously this game and the last. And Vestergaard is fouled by Batshuayi late as he was dealing with the Belgian striker. And like I said earlier on in the game about Benteke's international record, playing 39 times for Belgium, scoring 16. Well, Batshuayi's international record is 33 appearances, 22 goals. So obviously lacks it on the international stage, does Michy Batshuayi. Had a bit of a failed run at Chelsea, didn't quite work out for him there, but he's currently at Crystal Palace on loan, and the other loans he's also had have been at Palace, obviously Valencia and Borussia Dortmund, where he's had decent spells there abroad, but wasn't really thought about being bought as a permanent signing, as the free kick for Southampton's gone straight to Jeffrey Schlupp, and Palace are back in possession. Forward to Zaha, who's drifted out to the right hand side, finds Riedeveld outside of the boot ball to Joe Ward, tries to go in behind towards Mateta, cut out by Vestergaard. It's now Ward-Prowse, Armstrong over to Minamino. Back over to Ward-Prowse on the left-hand side. He's got Redmond in support. He's been a constant threat all night. He plays it to the former Norwich winger. 1-on-1 with Ward again. Can he get beyond the right back? Tries to take him on. Runs into traffic, but then goes the other way and then runs out of pitch with his poor touch. And a throw, and it'll be for Palace as we've got 3 minutes left of the 90 before we find out additional time. Thrown quickly to Chiarte, then helps it forward. Can't be won by Mateta. Vestergaard heads it forward towards Armstrong. Won by Jeffrey Schlupp, then back forward by Southampton to Minamino as they look to again bag that 4th goal, like I've said before. Back to Walker Peters. Remember, Southampton, Crystal Palace have also won their fair share of games by a big margin. They obviously beat West Brom 5-0, wasn't it, earlier on in the season, or 5-1, and also beat Leeds at home 4-1. Nathan Redmond's ball to Adams is being cut out by Chiarte. Now Schlupp on the halfway line. Nearly gets caught in possession. Does do eventually when he releases it. Walker-Peters picks it up to Minamino. Tackle, but forced to Armstrong as Southampton keep possession of the ball. With Ward-Prowse, Adams, Salisu in the left-back area on the halfway line. Goes back to Yannick Vestergaard for Southampton. As it is the 24th meeting between the two sides, Palace will be conceding another loss. It'll be their 13th loss to Southampton in the Premier League. It'll be their eighth away, and they've also conceded 6 losses at home to Southampton. As Eze picks it up now with Palace. Poor ball. Jack Stephen wins it back for Southampton and goes all the way back to Vestergaard, who did last play on this ground, was red carded against Leicester. Now, obviously, a lot more of a positive result, winning 3-1 at home to Crystal Palace. Vestergaard lifts it forward to Obafemi, chests it into Minamino. This is all in the Southampton half, where they have lost it to Jeff Richlup, who's playing in a new central midfield role. Usually a winger, as Kiarte's been played a ball short and has to just rush to get it and clear it up to the pitch, where it won't fall to a Palace man but to Cal Walker-Peters. You've got to think as well, the recent wins for Southampton have come away from home. You know, the likes of Sheffield United, and then I think their last home win was probably against Liverpool back in January. That's how poor they've been at home. Salisu has it on the left for Southampton, works away from Riedeveld, and somehow Mateta played forward to Ward-Prowse, and it's now with Armstrong. How Salisu got through that is beyond me. As Ward-Prowse now tries to join the attack, Obafemi sends it to the wide right area. Now back to Stevens, now Armstrong. Ward-Prowse is in the centre of the park and he receives it from Jack Stevens again. Takes it on a turn, trying to be positive as he shifts it to Redmond on the left. Can they maybe work across? They've got men in the box. Redmond though on the edge, cuts onto his right foot, keeps going and then releases the shot, and it's always going wide and way too high as he releases his frustration with a kick out into mid-air as he's desperate to score. Nathan Redmond today, he's always scored 2 in the Premier League this season, then another 2 in all competitions. They were both against Bournemouth in the FA Cup quarter-finals. And in 16 games before today, he has scored 4 times against Crystal Palace, and he got a goal and an assist in a 2-0 win last season away from home. So did enjoy success against Palace last year, the man who came through the Birmingham Academy from 2002 to 2013 before moving to Norwich. 3 minutes of added on time. We've nearly played 30 seconds of it as we're near the end of this Premier League game, the possible last Premier League commentary on the channel for this season before we go again back in forward to August. We started with Liverpool versus Leeds, where the stream was cut into 2 due to my OBS crashing, and then we're ending with a nice smooth 3-1 Southampton win with a stream, like I said, going smoothly. As Tyreek Mitchell for Palace has been caught in possession by Minamino, they charge forward, he plays it across towards Adams, too much on it for him, it will trickle all the way over though to Redmond. Can he redeem himself as he finds Ward-Prowse? It's now over to Armstrong, back over to Redmond in a lot of room, takes a touch, and then goes down the line looking for Ward-Prowse as he tries to take it towards the byline. He touches poor and allows Gaeta to come out and collect. If you have enjoyed, please like and subscribe. That would help me out massively. Remember, Championship playoff commentaries are coming to the channel, and a few Euros commentaries as well, which is starting in a month today. As Zaha, who was trying to hold the ball up against Jack Stevens, was being held by him, and he didn't like it, so he lashed out on Jack Stevens by throwing him a little bit, and that's Zaha's 5th booking of the season. Just getting frustrated, Zaha, he's fouled and, all that a lot. He was just being pulled back by Stevens, and then Zaha turns around with a lot of anger and frustration and just throws him to the ground quite aggressively there, the former Manchester United player. And Zaha still giving it to the referee, Andy Madlett, for today's game. Yeah, he was holding him a little bit unnecessarily, Jack Stevens, to be honest. And I can see Zaha's frustration, but no need to really, take it any further. As the ball played forward to Mateta, goes inside to Batshuayi, back over to the left to Tyreek Mitchell, crosses it in all the way towards the back post where Redmond clears, head of Eze. It's now Scott Dan, back over to the left again to Zaha, who won the free kick. Gets it forward to Schlupp, back out wide to Mitchell. Down the line it goes to Schlupp towards the corner flag. Tackled by Stevens, but it bounces off the Palace player last, and a goal kick it is for Southampton as there's 20 seconds left of this game. Benteke opened the scoring, but from there, it was poor. 2 wins in the last 17, you've got to remember, and this is my fault, I forgot that they did beat Burnley recently 3-2 from coming behind, and they've done it again. It is a 3-1 victory for Southampton in their last home win against Burnley. They went 2-0 down that time and recovered it to win 3-2. This time in the second minute, Benteke, even back-to-back games now scoring in the second minute, gave Palace an early lead. And then Danny Ings, using his striker's instincts to get the ball in the 19th minute in the box, swivel, shoot and score to get his 100th club senior goal. And then from there, Southampton really grew into the game to take all 3 points. Because then, not too long after, they then went in the lead with Che Adams 3 minutes into the second half, where it was a corner kick taken low to Armstrong on the edge of the box, who then swiped it across towards the back post, where it missed a field of opposition and Southampton players to go all the way to the back post to Che Adams, who squeezed it in from a very tight angle from a couple yards out. And then Danny Ings to finish off the night in the 75th minute before getting taken off. He was slipped through by his strike partner Che Adams, right foot, toe peck, bottom corner, and the 3 points were wrapped up for Southampton and leaving it to be a very disappointing night in the end for Crystal Palace. Palace stay 13th, an average position they've had for the last 5 seasons, and Southampton do jump up from 17th to 14th, and they will be safe for next season, as obviously we saw last night Fulham see their confirmed relegation. City are also champions. United can no longer catch them after their loss today to Leicester at Old Trafford. Southampton are going to be going back home with smiles on their faces. Palace will have, the game to ponder on. They will analyse, they will move on, but their main focus now is not for the remainder of this season, but it's looking forward to next season. Will we see a change of manager? Will we see a fresh new bunch of faces in terms of players, as a lot of their players are out of contract in the summer? We'll have to find out. But for today, that's going to be the end of the commentary. Thanks to everyone who ended up joining. I know it's a bit of a, not important game. Relegation was already sorted, and it's only Palace going to Southampton. I can see why people wouldn't really want to join and listen. But whoever did join in and listen, thank you very much. I've thoroughly enjoyed the game. We got 4 goals, pretty much end-to-end game throughout, and both teams really showing the quality they've got. So I really do enjoy it. But yeah, like I said, thank you very much for joining. Please like and subscribe. Next commentary, 17th Monday. It's going to be, I think, Bournemouth versus Brentford, or it is Bournemouth versus Brentford, 17th of May, 6 p.m. for the first leg of the Championship semi-final playoffs. First leg. I might be able to do a second leg, but the day of the second leg on the 22nd, I'm very, very busy. So I might not be able to, but subscribe and follow the Instagram for further updates, then you'll find out. But then after that, if we don't do the second leg, then we'll be back next with the Championship playoff final on the 29th of May. So no more Premier League commentaries. That's it for this season. We've got the Championship semi-final, first leg between Bournemouth and Brentford, possibly the second leg, and then the final, and then a few Euros commentaries until the season ends, and we'll be back yet again, back in Premier League and probably Community Shield, probably and UEFA Super Cup. Everything's kicking off again at the start of next season, where by the time it'll hit August, we're back doing this all over again. But the season for the Premier League on this channel is over at the minute, unless anything changes. We're going to focus now on a very nail-biting playoff championship season, where it'll be Bournemouth versus Brentford, which we'll be commentating on, but then also Barnsley versus Swansea and the other one. Who will win? Let's find out. But for today, Southampton take the 3 points, scoring 3 goals after cancelling out the early Benteke goal, where they scored in the 90th minute through Danny Ings to cancel that goal out. They dominated throughout. They scored 3. They won the game, and they now sit 14th and are safe. But will Hasenhüttl still be in the job come that August and that start of that season?